Hello, my name is Ashley. Welcome back to my channel, and this is Worth the Read, where we talk about books that are worth your time reading. Of course, worth the read. Today's video will be about my book haul. I wouldn't say this is my second book haul. This is probably my third or fourth book haul this year of 2018. But this is my second book outlet book haul. I love book outlet. Their prices are great. You can get as many books as you want. You can spend like $60 and come out with 12 or 13 books depending on how you play it. So let's get right into the video. The first book I want to talk about is a very popular book on BookTube, and I was surprised to see this on Book Outlet, but everything eventually hits Book Outlet, so now that I think about it, it's not that surprising. And that's Because You Love to Hate Me by a whole bunch of authors and a whole bunch of booktubers. This book is edited and I think put together by A. Marie, and I'm a huge A. Marie fan. If you don't know, she's a singer, very popular singer, but she started her own BookTube channel and I followed that. So this was edited by her. This book is about, it's 13, I think, short stories about villains that we all know and love, but their origin stories, like how they became the way they are, or the author's version of how they became the way they are. This is a good book. It's short stories, so this is the kind of book I like to read like ongoing throughout the year. I'll read a story here, read a story there. So I figured it was on Book Outlet and it was cheap, so why not? Just get it, try it, see how it is. Because You Love to Hate Me. Two books I got from Book Outlet is Flawed by Cecilia Ahern and Perfect by Cecilia Ahern. This book series is about a young lady who is a model citizen. She's a great daughter, student, sister, whatever. But she lives in a world where being perfect and being a model citizen is rewarded, and having some kind of issue which is flawed can be considered criminal. So she's met with a decision to make, and the decision is kind of comes off in the synopsis as it's a human decision where any human would make the decision, but if you made this decision, you're guaranteed that you're going to be punished, and she knows that, and she decides to make the decision anyway. The synopsis is really short. It doesn't give you much. That's all it basically says. So the world that she lives in kind of reminds me of, what is that movie? Divergent, the book, the movie. A world like that where everybody is separated. Everybody is supposed to live in their own sections and stick to that and don't go outside of that. And if you do, you're cast away. That's what this world that she lives in reminds me of. And I could be completely wrong. I don't know. But the synopsis was good enough to get me to purchase it. This book was maybe $5 and this one was $5. So why not? They're $5 and they're hardcover. Why not get them? The next novel is written by an author that I'm really beginning into, so every time I see his books on Book Outlet, I try to purchase them, and that's Jason Reynolds, the All-American Boy. He wrote this with Brandon Keeley. If anybody knows, Jason Reynolds is a very controversial author. He really talks about racial issues, life as a Afro-American male in America, and this book has not strayed from his formula. This book is about a boy named Rashad who accidentally bumps into a woman leaving a grocery store, and another gentleman beats him up, but is witnessed by a white young boy who's his classmate, and the person who beat him up is the boy's brother. So he's the only one who's seen it all go down. Nobody knows that he's seen it, the beating, and he's knows that it was his brother who did it. So I'm assuming Rashad ends up in the hospital and really damaged, and this whole incident divides the school, of course, as it normally tends to do, with the white people against the black people, and racial issues and police brutality and everything comes up in this novel. I'm really interested in reading this. This is the longest novel I've seen of his. And I've never read anything from Brendan Keeley ever before, so I'm interested in getting into it. I know pretty much Jason's style of writing. I want to see how it blends with the other author. So also, just like before, I said it's hard for me to read books like this because I do work in the school and I work around predominantly Afro-American students, and when I read stories like this, it kind of hits home, so it may take me longer to get to it and longer to read it, but I really want to dive in sooner rather than later. And that's All American Boy. The next book I purchased on Books Outlet is The Blood of Emmett Till. Now, what I just said about All American Boy is the same thing with a book like this. If you don't know who Emmett Till is, I advise you to Google it. I'll tell you a quick, it was something floating in the air. I'll tell you a quick synopsis of who Emmett Till is. Emmett Till was a black young boy. He was 14 years old who lived up north. So he really wasn't aware of how divisive the South was, and he moved to Mississippi. I don't think he was there a whole week when he quote unquote whistled at a white woman. And then he went home and people came in his house, dragged him out of his bed, and basically beat him to death, hung him, killed him. This is a true story. Most recently, the woman that claims he whistled at her admitted that she lied. It was all a lie. So I don't know why she felt the need to clear her conscience 50, 60 years later, but she told everyone that she lied. So this little boy lost his life in 1955 for whistling at a white woman. This book is an insight of what happened during that time and how those chain of events sparked civil rights movement and other chain of events that were pro Afro-Americans and trying to get equality in the United States. I have not read this book. I don't know if I'm going to read this book. Something made me want to purchase it. I probably will read it eventually, but again, our history, as in my history as an Afro-American woman, can be very emotional to read, and it's draining. And if you don't know, I like to read for entertainment and enjoyment, and I'm not a big depressed reader where if I'm going to be depressed after it, I will want to read it. So I don't know about this. This book is by Timothy A. Tyson. I hope I'll read it, but I can't guarantee, but I wanted to have it. We'll see. Again, this is The Blood of Emmett Till. The next book that I'm going to talk about is All the Ways the World Can End by Abby Sher. This book is about a young girl whose best friend graduates college early. Her sister leaves for college, whose dad is dying, whose mother works a lot and doesn't pay her any attention. And she kind of gets depressed and starts to think about all the different ways the world can end. And she starts to get a bunker together to prepare for the end of the world. And she doesn't talk about it other than, I think, a teacher she starts to connect with. And the reviews of this book on Goodreads is kind of mixed. Some people love it and say it's very emotional. Can't talk today. Very emotional, and it's more about family dynamics and things like that. And then some people said it was too dramatic, it was unnecessary, she was tripping, and she needed to get over herself. So I don't know where I feel about where I am with this book. I don't know. It might be a good read. I'm really not into melodramas. I think this is more cover by. I love the color and I love the cover. I think it's very pretty. I'm not into books where kids are complaining about dumb stuff and they're freaking out and making dumb decisions and their life is pretty good otherwise. Like, I'm not into books like that. I just think they're pathetic. But we'll never know unless I read it if this is a good book. I hope to read it this year. And hopefully if you've read it and you've enjoyed it, please let me know down below. I don't know if I'm going to read this book. I just thought it was cute and I wanted to add something else to my book outlet card. So this is all the way the world could end. Next book is Letters to the Lost by Bridget Cameron. This book is about a girl named Juliet whose mother passed, and a boy, I forgot his name, but he's dealing with like demons in his past. And she copes with her mother's death by writing letters to her mom, and he finds one of the letters and decides to write her back. So this is a YA contemporary, I guess. They'll probably fall in love. Hopefully it's not full of cliche YA stories, but it reminded me of the Sandra Bullock movie, The Mailbox, I think it was, or The Lighthouse, or The Beach House, something like that. I'll look it up. But it reminds me of that, where they're going back and forth, sending letters to each other and trying to cope with things to a total stranger, and their perspective and her perspective of trying to deal with her mother's death. So it sounded interesting. When I'm in the mood for a drama, I'll pick this one up, I think. I don't think it's a drama. When I'm in the mood for a book that deals with emotions, let me say that, I'll pick this one up. The last book in my book outlet book haul was a book that I read for school as a child, and I fell in love with it. This was one of the first books that was assigned to me as a child. I think we read it in 4th or 5th grade, and I was just like, that was a good book. And eventually they turned it into a movie, and I was in the movie theaters and I'm watching another movie, and the trailer for it came up, and I like freaked out, and I was grown by then. And my mom's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, this is my favorite book when I was a kid. They made a movie. And that is Bridge to Terabithia. This book is about a boy named Jess who's in the 5th grade, and he spends the whole summer running and training to try to be the fastest boy in his 5th grade class. They get in the gym. They're doing their time trials. I don't know. Back in the day, if you don't know, if you're younger, they used to have this government regulated assessment that you had to do in gym. And I did it when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. They stopped it. I don't know why they stopped it, but they stopped it. And you had to like run a mile in a certain amount of seconds, climb a rope. It was ridiculous stuff, but everybody had to do it. So he wanted to be the fastest boy in his class, and he gets to school that day of the assessment, and this new girl comes out of nowhere and beats him. And then he gets home all depressed and realizes the new girl moved in next door. They become fast friends, and they venture off into the woods near their house, and they use their imagination. That is a word, people. Young people today, an imagination. Y'all don't have much of one. I mean, not go there. But he uses imagination, and they create this whole world in the woods. And that is Terabithia. This book was excellent. This was the first book I read as a child where a death happens, and I'm just like, people die in books, like real life. I don't know why I didn't get that as a child, but I was like, this is crazy. They actually died, death. I don't know. I love this book. I've had 3 paperback copies throughout my life. I think I got one in 5th grade for school, and then I got another one in 8th grade. My teacher purchased it for the school library, the classroom library, and I saw it and I like flipped out, and he was like, if you love it so much you can have it. And I was like, thank you, Mr. Leonard. He still works at the school that I went to in 8th grade. And then I got another copy later on, and I don't know where those 3 copies are right now, but when I saw this hardback copy on Book Outlet, I flipped out. This is an excellent book for a 4th and 5th grader to read. It's very thin. It's not going to take them long to read it. It's a pretty good movie. I enjoyed the movie. Unlike some book to movie movies that tend to disappoint, that one, as far as I can remember, stuck to the book. So I had to purchase when I saw it and finally keep a copy of it. And I can't wait to have children in the future so I can read them this book. So, excellent book. Bridge to Terabithia. That is it. That's my book outlet book haul. If you like videos like this, let me know. I'll do more. I love book hauls. I love watching book hauls. So I figured I'll do more book hauls. So if you like, comment, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Say hello in the comments. If you're in Philly, say what's up. Go Eagles. I'm still hyped about the Eagles win. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be on that, but we won the Super Bowl. So, and I'm a huge Eagles fan. So, everybody have a great day. Many blessings. Peace out from Worth the Read. Oh.